Our first example is asking us to find angle A in the triangle below. So first I notice that I have 3 sides, but I don't have any angles. So because I don't have any angles, I don't have a full pair for either A, B, or C, so I can't use the law of sines. I am going to have to use law of cosines. Now, because it's telling me I want to find angle A, I know that I'm going to use the cosine rule that has angle A in it. So I'm going to use A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of A. And in order to do this, now all I have to do is plug in the information I have. So the first thing I need to know is which side is which. And I remember that sides are opposite their angle. So this is A, opposite of B is 8, and opposite of C is 6. So now that I know which one is which, I can go in and just fill in my information. So I'm just going to replace my A with a 7. So I have 7 squared equals, now instead of B, I'm going to plug in 8 squared plus, and instead of C, plug in 6 squared minus 2 times B, which is 8, C, which is 6, and cosine of A I don't know, so I'm just going to attach that. Now, I'm going to go and get my calculator, and I'm going to do 7 squared 49 equals 64 plus 36 minus 2 times 8 times 6 gives me 96 cosine of A. Now, the biggest mistake that I see most people make is the next thing everyone wants to do is go 64 plus 36 minus 96, but you cannot do that. You cannot include that minus 96 because the 96 is stuck with the cosine. So it's a totally separate term. They're not like terms. We can't add that 96 in there. But we can find 64 plus 36. And now I get 49 equals 100 minus 96 cosine of A. And if I'm solving for cosine of A, the next thing I want to do is move the 100 over, which gives me negative 51 equals negative 96 cosine of A. And then I'm going to divide by the negative on both sides. I can even at this point, if I want to save time, divide by the negative 96 on both sides. And I'm not going to actually make that into a decimal yet because I know that when I round decimals and then put them inside my cosine, it can change my answer a little bit. So I'm intentionally going to just cancel out the negatives there and leave this as 51 over 96 equals cosine of A because it'll allow me to get a more accurate answer when I solve for the angle. So now I'm going to apply the cosine inverse to each side because that will cancel this cosine out and get A all by itself. So then in my calculator or on Desmos, I'm putting in cosine inverse of 51 over 96 to get A, and I end up getting that the cosine inverse of 51 over 96 is 57.9 degrees. So that's my answer for angle A. And you have now finished the problem. I would just remember the most important thing is when you're solving this to be careful when you're combining here, that you don't accidentally add in the coefficient in front of the cosine. That's the biggest mistake I see everyone make.